people are more excited about attending smaller events now, as opposed to, I think right after the pandemic, everyone just wanted to get back out in the world. So they were like, get me at any conference possible, get me around people. I want to socialize. But what we've seen is, I think after everyone got over that high of going to events after COVID, that they're finding more value from smaller events, where they can actually spend quality time with people and build relationships, as opposed to having thousands of people around you where you're just getting a business card and having a 2-minute conversation.
You are listening to Power Marketing with Kevin Lee. Kevin and his agency Did It have helped thousands of businesses win through superior marketing, as have his books, articles, speaking engagements, and the E-Marketing Association Power Marketing podcasts. Here's Kevin.
Well, I'm super excited to be here with Kristen Haines, who is the CEO of MailCon, which is a conference. Unfortunately, I can't attend because I have a second conference to go to, which is a bummer. But for those of you, Kristen, who don't know what MailCon is, what's the elevator pitch?
Good question. First of all, thank you so much for having me, Kevin. I'm thrilled to be here. So MailCon is the world's largest in-person email marketing event. We're an email marketing event and community. Our niche conferences and community aim to inspire and empower marketers and professionals in their careers by connecting them with the latest technology, strategies, and advancement in email marketing, and also in omni-channel marketing as well. We also own the largest database of email marketing publishers, and we try to bring everybody together so that they can network and connect and grow together.
Great. Well, yeah, certainly in-person events are back, and they're back with a lot of enthusiasm for folks. So it's great that you're back running the events again. So there's been a lot of evolution in push marketing, email probably being one of the oldest, if not the oldest, form of push marketing. But you also have push notifications, you've got SMS. So when you think about putting your agenda together, how do you decide how to allocate your sort of agenda time between the different topics of push? I assume email takes the vast majority, but are you also layering in those other forms of omni-channel marketing?
Yeah, we do a lot of research, and our research involves everything from attending other conferences to community feedback and market and trend analysis. So we aim to curate an agenda that encourages relationship building while providing the most relevant educational content that can't be found anywhere else. We look at, what's trending in the email industry, what's trending in omni-channel marketing. We get feedback from speakers from previous events, from speakers at other events, and basically every single speaker that we have at the event, we get on a call with them. We try to find out what's their expertise, what's something that your customers are asking you. We also do survey campaigns where we ask our audience, what is it that you want to hear about at these events? We've done a couple different versions, whether it's like a gamified email or just a survey, post-conference surveys, to try to find out exactly what people want to learn and what problems that they can, that we can try to solve by bringing those speakers and people that are going to be talking about these topics to our events.
Great. Well, there are a lot of events that sort of try to bridge strategic and tactical hands-on stuff. Are you guys more skewed towards hands-on tactical how-tos, or is there a lot of strategic stuff in there as well?
It varies. Definitely, we have a balanced mixture from beginner, intermediate, and advanced content. Our workshops are can be very technical and advanced. For example, at a conference that we did in Las Vegas in 2022, we did a deliverability workshop where we actually asked email marketers to bring their email program to MailCon, where deliverability consultants led the workshop to actually help them resolve deliverability issues in the workshop. At the upcoming conference that we have a gamification and interactive email workshop where 3 email and gamification experts will be leading this workshop. It's an hour and a half workshop where people can actually learn hands-on how to implement and how to design interactive and gamified emails, whether they have no code experience or whether they're advanced in HTML and CSS. So it definitely varies. There's a lot of different types of content. There's some that are heavy that are in strategy, and there's some that are hands-on and technical that involve HTML and CSS, and there's some that are more basic and beginner, whether it's like email design or basic email marketing strategy.
The workshop for deliverability sounds really fascinating. Were they actually remediating things live, like logging into DNS providers and like changing SPF records for people to actually improve their deliverability live?
Exactly. So the whole goal of that was to actually fix the issues that they're having and walk through each attendee, and more on a, if it's a global problem, more on a global level, but really sit down and work with the attendees to try to fix these issues with them there on site at the event. And deliverability consultants, it's a great way for them not to just obtain clients, but it's a great way to show that a lot of these issues that they're having are such a simple fix, and to educate people on that they don't necessarily need to bring in an expert, and they can fix these issues themselves moving forward.
Right. For the upcoming conference that's right around the corner, are there any sessions you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have another deliverability panel, and this is going to be led by some of the same speakers that did that workshop in 2022. It's called Deliverability Past, Present, and Future. There is 2 additional speakers on this panel, and they are all industry veterans. They've worked across a variety of different scenarios, and so they're very well versed in providing this talk. That's definitely one that we're really excited about. We have a gamification and interactive email workshop that I mentioned earlier. That session should be, very advanced. It should also have some beginner content in there. What's so great about that is if you don't have any knowledge in HTML or CSS, you can still build interactive emails. And that workshop is aimed to show people how to do that without that experience, but also show people who do have that experience how to build even better emails. So that's a very exciting workshop. We also have a keynote hosted by NBC Sports. It's called Email and SMS, the Ultimate Matchup. And they're basically walking attendees through what worked and didn't work for the Olympic marketing campaigns. So that's going to be really exciting to hear about. There's a couple other sessions that are hosted by IBM and Deloitte that are going to cover omni-channel marketing. Which is a very interesting topic to hear about, the changes that or the issues that customers are facing and how they can navigate during a recession, but also where we're seeing an increase in demand for consumer privacy as well. So people are going to be talking about a lot of these issues that marketers are facing right now. In addition to, we have a detailed compliance panel that's going to be addressing specifically people's questions around marketing compliance.
Well, clearly, privacy and compliance is much more important than ever, with laws changing at a state level, and then you've got stuff going on in Europe. But I wanted to move to something else new that you added to the agenda for the event, which is the SaaS Pitch Fest. How did you guys come up with the idea for that?
That's a really good question. So one of the things that we noticed is there's not a lot of events doing SaaS Pitch Fest since COVID-19. We've never seen an event that did a SaaS Pitch Fest around email marketing technology. So that was something new that we wanted to bring in and kind of experimental into our event, because we have a lot of startup companies or smaller businesses that attend and exhibit. And we want to give them an opportunity to showcase their tools, because they're creating innovative tools for marketers. And a lot of times, they kind of go unnoticed. And so we wanted to give them a platform to be able to showcase their new technology, some advancements in email. And it's not just specifically for email. This one is also focused on marketing, omni-channel and marketing automation as well. So you'll have some startup companies that are brand new to the email space, but you'll also have some well-established companies that have released new products or additional features to their existing product that people will be able to see a live demo of. So we're really excited about that. Campaigner, who's a subsidiary of Ziff Davis, they're going to be sponsoring that event. We also have some investors that are going to be in the audience from Google and Ocean View Capital, among some others.
Great. That sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. Obviously, your team's been out there pitching the event both to sponsors and to attendees. Has there been sort of a difference in vibe that you've gotten from them as far as their level of excitement of going back to events? Has it been more the sponsors who are super jazzed, or the attendees, or both?
We've seen excitement all around since COVID. I would say there's definitely, people are more excited about attending smaller events now, as opposed to, I think right after the pandemic, everyone just wanted to get back out in the world. So they were like, get me in any conference possible, get me around people, I want to socialize. But what we've seen is, I think after everyone got over that high of going to events after COVID, that they're finding more value from smaller events where they can actually spend quality time with people and build relationships, as opposed to having thousands of people around you where you're just getting a business card and having a 2-minute conversation and you lose them in the crowd 5 minutes later. So that's kind of what we focus on for this event, is creating a intimate environment where people can spend time together doing things like golfing at Top Golf, or bowling at Brooklyn Bowl at the after party, or hanging out in the game lounge or the center bar during the event. In the game lounge, they can actually play ping pong together or cornhole during the conference. So we've tried to set it up to foster that environment where it's geared more towards relationship building, as opposed to just networking, grabbing business cards and moving on to the next exhibit or moving on to the next conversation.
That sounds like a lot of fun. One question I had is over the last 5 years in particular, email has evolved to much more, or let's say the email address has evolved to much more than something that's used as a communication vehicle. And it's turned into sort of the foundation for custom audiences. People are hashing it and using it across the media landscape. Did you end up addressing sort of the first-party data collection challenges and sort of the power of email as an identifier in your agenda as well?
Yes, there's a few sessions in our agenda that will touch on this. One particularly, Deloitte Digital is hosting a session that covers this quite extensively. There's also some sessions that are touching on this as well in the form of panels. I think this is something that marketers are talking about and want to hear more about. So we wanted to ensure that we have this content in our agenda so that people can have all of their questions answered on what is relevant, what's trending, what do I need to do, what are my next steps for 2023 and beyond.
Great. And back to the sort of privacy issue, it's, I think, yet another state added on some state-specific privacy rules. And it's certainly been a topic internationally as well with GDPR. Do you sort of think that this hyper-focus on privacy ends up being a good thing for email marketing or a bad thing for email marketing, or is it neutral?
I think that's a really good question. I think it can be both good and bad depending on a company's business model. Performance marketers are obviously probably going to face more challenges, whereas brand or product marketers or even B2B marketers might find a benefit from it. For marketers who are looking to build and nurture engaged email lists, I think that the increase in privacy might not be as much of a concern because you're going to find out who really wants to hear from you. And if you implement, subscriber preferences into your campaign where they can even decide how often they want to hear from you and when they want to hear from you, what type of emails and what type of communications they want to hear from you, you can build a better relationship with your subscribers that way. So, I would say maybe possibly neutral might be the answer for that, but there's pros and cons depending on the business model.
Absolutely. And obviously you think about email, not just right before MailCon, but all year long. So what has you excited about the next year with regards to email marketing and push marketing? when you're not busy planning MailCon, or do you start planning it like the week after the event for next year?
So what I'd say I'm most excited about in email marketing is the continued evolution of interactive and gamified emails. I think having the ability for customers having the ability to check out an email or complete an application without being redirected to a landing page, that's a huge advancement. And this technology isn't brand new. It's been around for a little while. There are certain inbox providers that support interactive and gamified emails. There are certain that don't support interactive and gamified emails. But it's something that hasn't been widely adopted by brands. And I think the more that people start to see the benefits of it, and that how it's beneficial to not just e-commerce, but to insurance. I mean, imagine that you start an application for insurance and you can finish the application inside an email. You get an email. You don't have to be redirected back to a landing page. You can actually do that inside the email. Conversion rates on companies that have adopted this, e-commerce companies, they go up by over 300%. So, I mean, we're talking like home services, you finish an application, insurance, you finish an application. Having that technology, if that's something that, we're able to do in the future, I think that more inbox providers will be demanded to support that type of technology. I think that people just aren't educated enough around it quite yet, or it might seem like something that's too difficult to adopt because it sometimes requires a lot of HTML and CSS experience, and they might not have team members that can build out those type of emails. And that's why I'm so excited about this workshop, because companies like Stripo, who will be presenting this workshop, they're changing how businesses can use interactive emails by providing a drag and drop builder for interactive emails, a very easy template builder for interactive emails, so that people with no coding experience can actually build these type of emails. And I think once people start to realize the potential of interactive and gamified emails, I think it'll start to be adopted more across other industries, like in the insurance space, in the financial services space, as opposed to in mostly e-commerce and product sales. Even having the ability that we do right now to check out in an email without being redirected to a landing page, that technology is not utilized nearly as much as it should. I mean, just that redirect takes out so much friction in the buying process. And when it comes to gamification, there's a presentation that's going to be hosted at MailCon on interactive email, and an additional presentation where they're presenting examples from Nike and Tesla, where you can actually customize your Tesla inside the email, pick the color, pick the wheels, it's like inside an email. You can build your own, like customize your own Nike shoes inside an email. That type of technology will be substantial and is substantial. It's amazing. It makes the whole experience of email change for a customer. You're excited to see what's going to be in that email. What do I get to build? What do I get to play with? And I think that will significantly change the way that people view email marketing if more marketers demand and start to adopt this technology. I'm so excited to see, where it's going. It's kind of been a long process, but I'm excited to see, how that's going to evolve over the next couple of years, and really waiting for it to really take off.
Yeah, what's most exciting to me about that is I'm a huge fan of this concept of compound marketing, right? So if you can get your conversion rate, your email up by, 100%, 200%, that means your allowable cost of customer acquisition of the email address, the value you can pay for that goes up, because the overall value you can extract out of it goes up. So it really powers the entire chain upwards as well as downwards, right? So you get a higher LTV, you get higher conversion rates on the post-click side, but you also get the ability to spend more on your marketing, or your marketing gets more efficient, right? So that's exactly. Super exciting. I think not everyone sort of thinks about the interaction effects between an efficiency gain here and how that efficiency gain at that location actually trickles up into your acquisition funnel. So that's super exciting. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're thrilled to see some of these real life examples at the conference, that these companies that are kind of pioneering the interactive email space, alongside Google's AMP for email, what they're going to be presenting, what they've done for some of their customers.
Great. Well, thanks so much for sharing the agenda and your planning process and talking about the future of email. It's far from dead. Every year people say email is dead, and every year they're wrong, and it's going the opposite direction. It's getting better. So that's super exciting. I hope the conference goes well. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure, and I hope that you'll be able to make the next one.
I hope so too. Thanks so much.
Kevin Lee's Power Marketing is available on all your favorite podcast networks. Kevin loves helping businesses excel at marketing. Having marketing challenges? Just like Santa in The Miracle on 34th Street, if Kevin can't help you, he'll know someone who can. Find him on LinkedIn, subscribe, or follow.